Boomers were very space sensitive here.
You're very space conscious.
Space conscious.
Well, thank you.
That brings out your eyes, good.
Ignore you for that. We're going to get started with today's press conference. The Citadel is going to host Wofford College this Saturday, November 11th at 2 p.m. here at Johnson Haygood. We will be celebrating Senior Day as well as Military Appreciation Day. We will now take questions for Coach Drayton. Coach?
Hello, good afternoon. Hopefully everyone's doing well. I want to thank everyone who came out for homecoming. It was a massive crowd, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of energy. The classes ending in 3 and the classes ending at 8. They had a good time all over campus and throughout Charleston. So we want to thank them for coming back and creating a buzz and an atmosphere for our young men.
Coach, I know you talked a little bit after the game, but just talk about some of the positives. I thought defense played really well, especially at the beginning. Some of the takeaways you have.
Yes, the goal was to start fast, and a lot of people were shocked. We actually did a live tackling drill before the game, and the guys were really fired up. The music was pumping pretty loud, and with these guys, they feed off of energy, and we had that energy going into the locker room after pregame and was able to sustain it coming out of the locker room and throughout the first half. So now we have to figure out a way to get it going for the third and fourth quarter as well. So maybe we'll do live tackling drills at halftime as well too.
To know that obviously Wofford is kind of in the same position as you are, does it give your guys that extra juice? Like, all right, well, one of us is going to walk out of here with a win this weekend. Just the excitement of that.
Yeah, so, I actually tried not to say that yesterday in our meetings. I didn't want anybody to say, hey, okay, Captain Obvious, well, yeah, somebody's got to get a win. The truth of the matter is Wofford is a very good team. And as you dissect them, as you look at who they are, they've had some close games. They've been playing with their second-string quarterback most of the year, and they're well coached. Sean Watson does a fabulous job. He's hired some really good coaches. Their co-defensive coordinator, Jonathan Saxon, I actually coached him when I was coaching at South Carolina State. Jonathan has experienced winning 3 FCS conference championships as a player. He's won 3 as a coach. He's got 8 guys that's been drafted into the pros. And then you look at Mitch Doolittle, their assistant head coach and their special teams coordinator, outside linebacker. He is a fine coach as well. We've gone against him many years when he was at Gardner-Webb and Mercer, etc. So he's put together a fine staff, and we'll have our hands full because these guys are very disciplined and they play as such.
How do you think y'all kind of match up in terms of what both of y'all do, y'all and Wofford?
Yeah, so athletically we're very similar. So that's good. A lot of contests this year. We went into the matchup where we did not match up athletically, but we are very similar in that regards. Their quarterback who's coming back, senior quarterback, he played the first 3 games, was injured, and recently just played against Western Carolina, which they lost a heartbreaker, 28-25. Bryce, he does a great job. Their running back is really good out of Stone Mountain, Georgia. Ingram Good, he's a really good back. He's hard to bring down. He's a load. So it'll be real interesting to see our little guys fly around and try to get him on the ground. The one thing Wofford has done, they have gotten a portal as well. They have 17 transfers, 6 from FBS schools. They also have 3 low country kids. That's always important for me to know, in that we cannot let our talent get out of the city. We always want to win the city, the low country first, and then win the state. But they have a young man from Bishop England who has played in all 9 games. They have a young man, freshman linebacker, who played at Academic Magnet, and a young man from First Baptist. So it's important that going forward we're on top of that.
I know you haven't been with the seniors and the grad students for all that long, but what have they meant to you in your first year here?
Well, You're absolutely correct. I have not been with them that long, but the first thing we did when we got our boots on the ground was to form relationships. To me, football is still a relationship business. You know, if you're going to ask these guys to do some of the things we need them to do to be successful, they better know that you care about them. And so that was the first thing we did. So I have a value and a care for each one of our seniors, for these guys who put time into our program. And that was kind of our messaging on Sunday with the rest of the team, with our young guys. You know, if you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for somebody you love. Because I really believe our team is a close-knit group. Let's do it for these seniors. And the messaging with the seniors was to keep leading in the positive manner that you are. We are continuing to have very good practices. Yesterday was a very good practice again. To me, that's the mark of a good team in the beginning. So the seniors, they want to leave a legacy of, hey, this was the genesis. This was the beginning of the new Bulldog era. So we're excited to watch them lead on Saturday.
Notice any difference with Rhett Russell facing his old team?
Absolutely. So Rhett is going to be a captain this week. And truth of the matter is, Rhett comes to work every day. So I didn't notice anything yesterday, but I would imagine as the week goes on, there'll be some nostalgia moments for him. But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters to Rhett and the rest of us is if we come away with a win.
Offensively, just talk about what you liked, what you saw from Saturday, and then what Wofford does defensively, where you think you can maybe have some success.
Yeah, that's a great question. So offensively Saturday, we did a great job of converting on third down. We had our highest third down conversion percentage of the year. You know, establishing Hakeem Elmore has been very important to the offense. Getting him established, controlling the ball, being patient, not being impatient, but doing it from a variety of formations and a variety of ways. Now, what we have to do, we have to protect the ball, and that's been an Achilles heel. Anytime you turn the ball over, you're not going to have a shot to win against a really good opponent. Now, Wofford is very disciplined, like we talked about, but because of how we plan on attacking them, we hope to use some of their discipline against them.
You kind of touched on this after the game. I know Grayson talked about it too. After the pick six, to go down there, bounce back, drive down, and then put together another good drive. How happy were you, one, with how he kind of bounced back, and then two, with the way you were moving the ball?
Very happy with that. So last week, the same time we were here, and we talked about when bad things has happened to this team, it's typically trended downhill. This was really one of the first times where something happened that wasn't planned or you would consider bad, where the team did not flinch, and that's important. So they didn't flinch, and they kept fighting back, and we were able to put that drive together. So it was very important to us, very pleased with it, and we're going to build upon that.
Why? Why do you think they didn't have the negative reaction at the pass?
I just believe over time, the messaging that they're getting, the things that we're doing in practice, putting one side of the ball in a disadvantaged position, putting individuals in a disadvantaged position, and creating that mindset of forget it and drive on. I think it's clicking with the young minds that we're dealing with. I do a lot of reading, and I'm reading a book about the psychology of an older mind. And when they say older, not an adolescent mind, the mind of a 17 to 22-year-old. And it's something. It really is, because they have mature bodies, and they think they're men, and they are men, but they're not that mature man yet. So just massaging that mind and working the mind.
Coach, we appreciate it.
Yep.
Andrew's not back.
Johnny Crawford, just talk about him and kind of his maturation.
Well, we still appreciate it.
Yeah, Johnny has done a great job, and we're very excited about Johnny's future. He's stepping into a role now that Coop is not playing. And we're just pleased with how he's growing. He's starting to become more vocal as well too, and his messaging has always been right, even since the spring, but now it's starting to come out to a point where the other guys are listening. So we're excited about him.
You call him the hardest runner that you've had.
Yes, he runs hard. You know, for a man that only weighs 180 pounds, you know, he runs very hard. He's determined. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. And we, quite frankly, we need more of that. We need those guys who have a little attitude and have a little swag about themselves.
What else does he bring to the table that people like to see?
Quiet confidence.
Yeah.
Quiet confidence. That was early on, but you know, I kind of alluded to he's starting to become more vocal now, and we haven't had many vocal leaders. And now that he's stepping into that role, it's going to be really interesting to see how he continues to grow and how his teammates will follow him.
Another young guy, Akeem, the wide receiver, his name now, last name now escaped me. Just talk about him a little bit as well.
Yes, Akeem Monroe. He had a hamstring earlier in the year, which set him back. And we all know those things can be tricky. It kept him out basically 6 weeks. But now that he's starting to get reps, he's coming on. You saw he made that fabulous catch. And he has shown the ability to do that. Once again, though, he has to consistently do the small things that will allow him to be on the field in a full-time capacity.
Small things being.
Looking the ball in. It's one thing making this great, spectacular catch, but it's another thing in practice where you're dropping a 5-yard hitch over and over again.
Right.
So it's the consistency of being right. And we talked about it before. That's what makes being a Citadel person so tough, because over in that battalion, over in those barracks, over on that campus, we expect for you to be at your best, not sometimes, not part of the time, but all the time.
And I would assume that his speed gives you a vertical element that maybe the rest of the guys can't give you.
Yeah, he has very good vertical speed along with Landon Owens, which we saw that earlier in the year on the kickoff return. So we have a few guys who can take the top off. Now we just have to get them going to the point, like I talked about earlier, about just being consistent.
Are you and Joe Call on speaking terms with Berkeley and Somerville playing this Friday?
It was 2 weeks out, and Joe came to the office, and he let me know. He said, hey, we'll see you in 2 weeks. So we're definitely on speaking terms, but on Friday night for a 2.5, 3-hour period, we probably won't talk.
No?
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys, appreciate it.
Thanks.
Now you may say it.
Good afternoon. The Citadel volleyball team clinched a co-share of the 2023 Southern Conference Regular Season Championship this past Saturday against UNCG. It's the first in program history. The Bulldogs are set to close the regular season out this weekend against ETSU on November 10th at 1 p.m. and Furman on November 11th at 7 p.m. for senior night. Here to talk about the Bulldogs are graduate student Mackenzie Martin and head coach Dave Delnott. Mackenzie?
Hi, y'all.
Mackenzie, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What did, I know obviously there's 2 more games of the regular season in the tournament itself, but what did, if anything, did the winning the regular season, kind of what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's great. The team was really excited. It's never happened before in program history, so first time, and you know, it means a lot to the seniors and kids that have seen this program. We have some 5th years that have been here since day one that have seen this program come up from nothing, a few wins in a year, and now 24 wins. You know, it's a big deal for them, and it's really special to see them get to celebrate this with all of us and celebrate it with our freshmen who make just as much of an impact. So really special.
When you when you transfer to the Citadel, I mean, are you looking at it like, all right, somewhere I can go and get some playing time and you know, whatever to my resume, or did you see this as a place from the outside in that was like this gold mine that could just explode this year, sort of thing?
Yeah, I was looking a lot, not really for playing time, not really wins and losses, but looking for somewhere where I fit in, where I could get along with the coaches, where the girls really accepted me. And here, I really felt it from the very beginning on my visit. They took me in and answered all the questions I had, and as a grad transfer, you don't really know what you're signing up for, so when I got here, nothing changed. It was the exact same way with them, all just so loving, took me in. It had nothing to do with if I was in the Corps or not. They really just took me in as a person and made me one of their teammates.
We talked to Maddie a couple weeks ago, with this being your first season, you might not necessarily know the answer, but what do you think has led to the success this season?
Yeah, there's really heavy buy-in from every single person, from, you know, people that play every single point to people that don't get so much playing time to the very end of our bench. They are really bought into what we can do and what we have accomplished. And it was from day one that they were like that. It was never like, oh, we're really good, so now I'm going to buy in. It was, no, we're really good before preseason even started, so we really have a chance to do something special.
With that being said, is it maybe a weight off the shoulders that the loss happened? It's not like you have to just have that perfection hanging over your head. I mean, your same goals are still on the table. Does it make it a little easier to play knowing that, all right, the loss happened?
Yeah, it definitely was. It was hard losing, but the goal was never to have an undefeated season. The goal was to win a conference championship, and I don't think there was really ever pressure to win, but it was more pressure not to lose. And you know, we can't be perfect. We weren't perfect, and now that we have at least part of the conference championship, I think we can move on and just play fearless volleyball from here and hopefully win it for ourselves and then win the tournament.
Good.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Offensive about it, Chicago clothing. Sorry, I didn't have an opening statement. You guys can just ask me whatever you want. I'll fire away.
Coach, what, if anything, does the co-regular season, obviously, maybe y'all can wrap it up this coming weekend, but what does the regular season mean to you right now?
I mean, it's great. It's a great accomplishment. You know, bucket list of things to accomplish since I've been here. That was always a thing. I don't know how much left we have to do, so that's check that off. That's great. We're not great at sharing, so hopefully we can, you know, get rid of that so Mercer can't share with us and it's just ours. That would be nice.
When you have the one loss, does it make it just a little easier, like just that pressure is not mounting on every game, that we've got to remain perfect sort of thing?
Well, we have two. That's annoying. You know, that we got both of them in 5, and that we kind of feel like we did it to ourselves. You know, losing isn't that big of a deal to us. It's fine. We just like to control the weight that we lose, and those losses weren't great because we did those to ourselves. You know, if you look at those fifth sets, we had 7 hitting errors and 2 serving errors. And we scored a bulk of those points for those teams, and that's kind of what we don't like to see happen. We want teams to beat us. And we felt like we kind of beat ourselves in those games, not to take anything away. Both teams, you know, did play well, but in the fifth set, we kind of gave those games up. You know, as far as pressure moving forward, we put a tremendous amount of pressure on ourselves just to play well, not necessarily to win, but just to be our own best. So that's the pressure we put on ourselves every day.
Do you change anything, do anything different for this last match, or do y'all keep doing what you're doing?
No, we got some players back that have been out for a few weeks, so I think the Wofford match is where we kind of put our lineup out there that we expect to be our tournament lineup, and we just started kind of working that. So, you know, we're just going to keep working out the kinks of that lineup, and, you know, which rotation we start in here and there, and which subs we're going to use in certain situations, and we're going to start doing things like that. It may impact results of those last 2 matches, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. But we're going to definitely focus on getting tournament ready.
Who is that coming back? Sorry, who is that you said you have to go on coming back?
Oh, Sales just got back. She's been out for about a month.
Okay.
How important, is it important to have like a ramp up to the tournament, to not go in on a couple of losses into the tournament? Is it important to have that ramp up to kind of, you know, ride into the tournament with that?
I mean, if we win those matches, then yes, it's tremendously important. If we don't win these matches, then it doesn't matter at all.
Are you planning to make him available before the tournament?
Yep.
Okay. I'll save my question for this. Or just gonna.
He's a real hard hitter.
No, we're just gonna ask you how does the bracket work out? Would y'all get a bye, or would y'all kind of play?
No, there's no buys.
Okay.
So there's a 8-9 play-in game that's on site. So right now, UNCG's got it locked as the 9 seed, and we're locked as the 1 seed right now because we hold the tiebreaker over Mercer. So we'll play the winner of the 8-9. 2 through 8 right now is completely up for grabs. It's a Wild West situation in SoCon right now, so I don't know who's gonna be the 8, who they're gonna play. So we could see UNCG again, or whoever they're playing in that 8-9 play-in.
Dan, the bracket will release on Sunday, or maybe late Saturday from the SoCon.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll have a press conference on Monday.
That works.
If, I mean, do you even look at RPI at this point, like, or, you know, is
No.
it just like, I mean, is there any even remote chance if you don't win there that you can get some sort of an
So-
at-large or?
Had we not had that second loss, you know, possibly, you know, if we didn't have that second loss, there's a possibility if we made it all the way to the finals and then lost there, that maybe we could have gotten at large, but now that we have that second loss, no, we gotta win the tournament. Has to.
There's no NIT.
There's an IT for volleyball now.
There is?
Yep.
Cool.
Now, are they doing what basketball's doing and not giving an auto bid to the conference?
So you get an auto bid if you get to the finals.
Okay, but it doesn't, regular season doesn't matter, like,
No, but we've already been contacted,
okay,
and that's in other people's hands. That's way above my pay grade.
gotcha.
And if you want to bash Andrew for wearing all the Chicago garb,
As a Michigan guy, I mean, it's pretty egregious. I mean, it's just rough to look at. I mean, it's right in my sight line. I don't know why you would do it week after week, but it's fine. It's fine. The wings are just so much better, and everything you wear, your Blackhawk stuff. But it's fine. Keep showing up.
Look up, go ahead.
I know.
Yeah.
The sun's right there. I have to. You know, it's just hard to do, but it's okay.
Dave, we appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man,
Thank
thanks.
you.